Our lesson today begins about 40 years after our last lesson. You'll remember that the people of Israel had come up to the borders of the land that Jesus wanted to give them, and they rebelled against the Lord. And so then they spent the next 40 years in the wilderness. After those 40 years, Joshua was in charge of God's people. And it was time for them to go and enter the promised land. So the people were camped beside a big river called the Jordan River. There were no bridges across the river. They didn't have boats to go across. And the people looked at that river and they said, how are we going to all go across? And Joshua said, Jesus is going to help us. So he told the priests to get the Ark of the Covenant that had the special 10 Commandments in it, and he told them to go down to the river. And they walked, and when their toes touched the water, Jesus did something special for them. He opened a path right through the river, and the priests went and they stood in the river, and the people could all cross through on dry land. When the people got across the river, they looked at the big city with the high walls and they thought, oh, how are we ever going to get into that city? And the people in the city looked out and they saw all the people down there and they said, I don't know what they are going to do. We better close up our gates. And so they closed the big gates to the city so that nobody could come in. And Joshua told the priests and the soldiers, we are going to march all the way around the city, one time each day for 6 days. And then on the 7th day, we're going to march around 7 times. And so the first day, they all marched around the city once and they went back to their tents. And the second day, they all marched around the city once and they went back to their camp. And the third day, they marched all the way around the city and they went back to their camp. 6 days they did that. And then on the 7th day, Joshua said, okay, today we're going to go around 6 times. And then the 7th time, I want everyone to shout and I want the trumpets to blow. And they marched around 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. The people of Israel went around the city the 7th and last time, and as they did, they shouted loudly, and they blew on their trumpets, and all of a sudden, what happened? The walls came tumbling down, and the people were able to take the city. Jesus was with them, and he helped them take not only the city of Jericho, but many other cities in the land of Canaan. Our memory verse is taken from Joshua chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, God is with you wherever you go. God was certainly with the people of Israel as they entered the land of Canaan, and God is with you wherever you go too. So I'd like you right now to take time to tell your memory verse to your mom or dad. Joshua 1:9, God is with you wherever you go.